Psst. Hey you. Yeah, you. Are you already a master of logic, or do you need to beef up your analytical thinking? Well, try these riddles to find out. Keep track of how many you get right. Your results await at the end of this challenge. Off we go! Number 1. Sam and his brother John were always fighting. Their mom couldn't take it any longer and came up with a clever plan to stop them. She told the boys to stand on the same piece of paper in such a way that they didn't touch each other, and it worked. The boys couldn't fight anymore. How did she do it? The woman slipped the paper under a closed door and made Sam stand on one side and John on the other. 2. Two planes took off at the same moment. One departed from New York and headed for Paris, and the other left Paris and flew to New York. The first plane's speed was 650 miles per hour, and the other one was going 700 miles per hour. Which plane was closer to Paris when they met over the Atlantic? They were both the same distance from Paris since they met in the same place. 3. What always goes up when it rains? An umbrella. 4. One day, a teacher decided to give her students a test, but all of them refused to take it. She could give detention for skipping the test to only one student. All of them knew each other's names. If a student knew they were going to get detention, they agreed to take the test. How could the teacher make all of the students take it? She told them she'd give detention to the student whose name came first alphabetically. Then this person wouldn't skip the test. The next person on the list wouldn't skip as well, and so on until the end of the list. 5. You have 2 coins that together make 35 cents, and one of the coins isn't a dime. What are these 2 coins? A dime and a quarter. If one of the coins isn't a dime, then the other is. 6. There's a barrel full of water in the yard. You look inside and say that it's more than half full, but your friend argues that it's less than half full. How can you figure out who's right without using any measuring tools or removing water from the barrel? Tilt the barrel so that the water touches its rim. If you can see the bottom, the barrel's less than half full. If the bottom is still covered with water, it's more. 7. A blind man comes into an electronics store and wants to buy a cell phone. There are lots of gadgets on the shelves, but the man can't see them. And still, 10 minutes later, he leaves the store with the very phone model he'd wanted. How did he manage it? The man was blind, not mute. He just asked a shop assistant to sell him the phone he was after. 8. James escaped from prison and ran for the countryside. Suddenly, on a small, deserted road, he saw a police car heading right at him. James ran toward the car for some time, then turned and rushed into the woods. Why did he run toward the car first? James was in the middle of a bridge when he saw the car. He had to run toward the vehicle to get off the bridge. 9. Can you make 1,000 by using only 8 8s and addition? $888 plus 88 plus 8 plus 8 plus 8 equals 1,000. 10. 2 people who have never seen each other before meet at a store, start a conversation, and go for a walk in the park. One of them is the father of the other's daughter. How is all this possible? They're a couple, both blind from birth, so they've indeed never seen each other. 11. Your company produces shoes and has 2 factories in different cities. The workers in both plants steal shoes. You can't use any additional security, but you have to stop the theft. How can you do it? One factory should start making only left shoes, and the other only right ones. 12. A person spent 3 days in the hospital and was perfectly healthy, and still, they had to be carried away while leaving. Why? It was a newborn baby. 13. Take 9 from 6, 10 from 9, and 50 from 40 so that you are left with 6. 6 minus 9 ix equals s. 9 ix minus 10 x equals I. 40 xl minus 50 l equals x. Now you see? 14. There are 6 glasses in a row on the table. The first 3 are filled with orange juice, and the other 3 are empty. Because, well, I drank them. Oops. Your task is to make full and empty glasses alternate by moving just one glass. How can you do it? Take the second glass and pour the juice into the 5th glass. 15. Find a way to get 200 out of 188 by using just one line. Use the line to cut 188 horizontally. This way, you'll get 2 100s. 16. One person was 25 years old in 2000 and 20 years old in 2005. How is this possible? This person lived in BCE times. 17. Can you give someone $63 without using a $1 bill? Easily. 50 plus 5 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 equals $63. 18. Let's imagine you don't know what an elephant looks like. One day, you're going on a safari to watch animals with your friends. One of them points at a rhino and tells you it's an elephant. The other shows you a hippo and claims that it's an elephant. Who will you believe and why? The task was to imagine that you didn't know what an elephant looked like, not that you didn't know what a hippo and a rhino are. It means you won't believe either of your friends. 19. Michael Adams, who disliked what passed for art in modern times, rushed into the city gallery and caused millions of dollars worth of damage to several paintings. Yet the manager of the gallery thanked Mr. Adams for his actions. How come? Michael was a firefighter. The water from his hose damaged several masterpieces, but he still managed to extinguish the fire and save many more exhibits. 20. One man went to his friend's party and told his wife he'd be back before sunrise. He shaved and left home. He returned, as promised, before sunrise, but he was sporting a long, thick beard. How come? The man and his wife lived in a place with polar nights that can last for several months. 21. When you look for something, you always find it in the last place you search. Why so? It's always the last place you look because, after this, you don't need to continue your search. 22. An egg has to fall 100 feet, but you can't let it break. You can't slow down its fall or cushion its landing. How can you do it? Drop the egg from a height greater than 100 feet, and it won't break for the first 100 feet. 23. Why are pianos so hard to open? Well, the keys are inside. 24. Newlyweds left for their honeymoon and asked their neighbor to look after their house. When they returned, the woman found out that she'd lost all her expensive jewelry because of a power outage. The woman had hidden her jewelry in a supposed safe place. The house wasn't robbed. The neighbor was an honest person. The jewelry got lost on accident. What happened? The wife hid her jewelry in the freezer in a bag with frozen food. After the power failure, all the food spoiled. The kind-hearted neighbor decided to help and threw away all the bad food, together with the jewelry. 25. What is as big as a mountain but weighs nothing? The mountain's shadow. And now, let's see how good you are at cracking riddles. If your score is 0 to 5 correct answers, you're still a riddle newbie. You've got a lot of practicing to do. 6 to 10 solved puzzles. Your level is sophomore. Not the worst, but you could get better. 11 to 15 riddles. You're competent when it comes to analytical thinking, right smack in the middle. 16 to 20 correct answers. You're proficient in riddle solving. You're almost at the top. Keep practicing. 20 to 25. You're the master of riddles. You should be proud. Hey, if you learned something new today, then give the video a like and share it with a friend. And here are some other videos I think you'll enjoy. Just click to the left or right. And remember, stay on the bright side of life.